story. All right, everybody, we're back. My first guest has appeared in numerous films, including Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, and Ransom. Starting October 3rd, you can see him with Anthony Hopkins in The Human Stain. Please welcome Gary Sinise. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yeah, just got in from Germany about 2 hours ago.
You were over in Europe, and I understand that you, not too long ago, you took a USO. Was this part of the USO trip that you just took?
This was a different USO trip. Yeah, I was on.
How many have you taken?
This is my fourth.
Oh,
maybe?
good for you.
Yeah,
That's great. And this is so you took a USO trip, and is this true that you went actually to Baghdad?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah. In June, I went over with a really big tour. There was Kid Rock, Nappy Roots, Leanne Womack, Dallas Cowboy
This
cheerleaders.
This is the regular crew that you hang with, pretty much, when you go anywhere.
Yeah, Wayne Newton.
Yeah, right. Wayne and Nappy Roots go way back.
Yeah.
So you guys,
tour, yeah.
tell us what's going on. What's it like in Baghdad? What did you see?
Well, the first day we went. I went 2 days. I went the first day, and we ended up at the airport. We landed at the airport. There were about 7,000 troops there, and they wanted us to put on a show. And we didn't know we were supposed to put on a show. They were just, packed into this airplane hangar, and we ended up improvising, putting on a show. Kid Rock got up there, and Nappy Roots, and they improvised and made a show for these guys. But it's a great feeling when they're there. I know you did some.
Well, we had the same experience. Which is we went over there, and they would, the person from the military, the liaison would say, "Don't worry, you're just supposed to go into this area and kind of just say hello to them and shake hands and take pictures." And you'd get out of the car and you'd walk around the corner. And there'd be this giant tent and a microphone, and they'd go, "It's time for the show." Here's Conan O'Brien. So I would go out there. I just started wrestling Marines, and you do anything you can think of on the spur of the moment. Reciting recipes, you just get through it.
Yeah, you give them a show. They're there, they're tired.
They deserve a show, so you come up with a show out of nowhere.
Absolutely, and we did, and they loved it, and they had a great time. And then the next day, General Franks had asked a small group of us, Robert De Niro, myself, a couple other actors, John Stamos, Rebecca Stamos, Alyssa Milano, and a couple other folks, to go back and actually go into downtown Baghdad, because the first day we just stayed at the airport.
Right.
The next day we got landed at the airport, got in a convoy. There were gunships over our heads, and we were heading into downtown Baghdad to see the troops that were in there. We went to 2 palaces. The first
what are the palaces like? These are Saddam's palaces, because I know he had a number of them, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like bad Las Vegas or something like that. They're not, they're big.
I mean, there's a buffet. All you can eat.
Man-made lakes and all that kind of stuff around them. The first one, we didn't really go into it. The second one, you could see there were the giant Saddam heads. I mean, giant Saddam heads on top of this building, 4 of them. And
like sculptures of his head.
Huge. I mean, these huge things.
Right.
They can't take everything down that he's put up around there, because there's just too much of it. Everywhere, every corner you turn is a picture of him or a statue of him or some kind of face or something like that. And at this palace, there's these 4 heads. We get into the palace, and it was filled with troops, just tons of troops. It's a big place, and we're kind of occupying that, and it's a sort of a central headquarters in Baghdad. They took us into a giant ballroom, chandeliers, very, fancy stuff all over the place. And by the way, on our way there, you see a lot of Iraqis driving around in like 1960s beat-up cars and everything. Then you get to a palace, and it's filled with golden.
Everything's gold, and you realize he was just
500,000 golden toilets that he was building over there, while the people were not doing so well. Anyway, we walk into this ballroom, and the first thing you see at the opposite end, the opposite side of this ballroom, is a giant mural. It's this giant painting. From floor to ceiling, of ballistic missiles, like firing off into the sky. Nice taste. He's got good taste in art.
Well, you have a photo of this, because to show that you're not kidding. Like, that's the painting that he would.
There it is.
That is so strange that that's what he wanted. Like, I could see like a 14-year-old kid wanting that in his room.
No, look at him. Let's see that again.
Go back,
I mean, they're firing off, you know, probably pointing at, you know, either us or Israel or something like that. And there they are. I mean, can you imagine? I would like my chemical warheads on this wall. As soon as I walk in the door, that's what I see, you know.
Because it'll go nice with the blue. I want it all to mesh nicely.
The turquoise everywhere.
He was choosing it for the colors. He didn't care what was there.
Yeah, I see some of these colors were over there sort of in that...
a lot of people compare me to a mad dictator here. You know, this is my little world that I have.
It's amazing, though. I mean, really amazing. But the troops are over there. They were so grateful. As you know, you were in Afghanistan, I think you went?
We went to Kuwait. And then we actually went up to... back then, they weren't letting anybody into Iraq itself. Because the war had just ended, so we got within, I don't know, 30 miles.
This was the first tour that they took over there for the troops and actually took us into Baghdad to see them. And there, you know, I got to tell you, it's the best thing that I do.
Right.
Was to volunteer a while ago for the USO and to go on these trips because these folks work hard for us. They don't get a lot of, they don't make money. They don't get a lot of support, and you know, it's just a great thing when you look at their faces and you distract them for a minute and make them feel like they're appreciated. Yesterday,
I don't know if you had the same experience I did, which is you go over there and you feel weird about what you do for a living, you know, because you feel like, oh, these, you know, they're actually putting their lives on the line, and you know, and then you realize we pretend for a living, and
yeah. Yesterday I was at Landstuhl Medical Center in Germany, and I was with wounded troops that have come back from Afghanistan and Iraq. By the way, if you're watching this, hi guys, hang in there. You're going to be all right. There's a lot of great people over there taking care of these folks, and a lot of good folks are seriously injured over there. But you know, it is kind of when you're talking to them, you do feel a little trivial about what you do. But on the other hand, they want to hear about what you do.
Right. If you can distract them for 10 minutes, then at least you're doing something.
Absolutely. It's a really good feeling.
Well, it's a very cool thing that you're doing that.
Thank you.
I want to mention this movie also, The Human Stain, which is coming out that you're promoting.
Well, that's what I was doing right before I went to Germany. I was in Venice promoting that movie. It opened at the Venice Film Festival. And it's a powerful movie with Anthony Hopkins, Nicole Kidman. Ed Harris is in the movie. Right. It's directed by Robert Benton, who made Kramer versus Kramer, Places in the Heart, and it's a quality movie.
We have a clip here from the film. What do we need to know to appreciate what's happening here?
This is a moment. Hopkins and I have become friends. I'm a writer. He's a professor who had resigned from a college, and he's fallen into a relationship with Nicole Kidman's character that's kind of a dangerous relationship, and I'm a little afraid of what he's getting himself into.
Okay, let's take a look at this clip from The Human Stain. That's great to see you two. Is this the first time that you've worked together? I'm trying to think. That was...
Yeah, I've never worked with Tony Hopkins before. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor. Just doing that scene was it was like when I was off camera, it was like watching a great play or something. I just watched him.
It's great to see the two of you working together. It's an amazing intensity. The Human Stain opens October 3rd, and again, it's a great thing you're doing, going over there.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Gary Sinise, everybody. Seth Green coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stick around.